Hello everyone, welcome to the CTV News on Calabash TV and on the Wave Radio 94.5. I am Melissa Joseph. Well, despite the chaos surrounding the leadership of the Roy St. Lucia Police Force, government is concerned about the effectiveness with which the organization can deal with matters of security and safety. That's according to Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony. In expressing concern over the 20 homicides tally for the year, the Prime Minister said the force cannot allow the criminals to win. The statement comes amid public claims that the reveal of the impacts report has demoralized officers.
I mean, even right now, I have heard of arguments that suggest that because of the impacts report that you have an increase in crime because police officers are no longer exerting the kind of effort they used to. But I'm not going to get involved in that kind of debate because I can tell you one thing: if you're going to fight crime by unlawful means, then that is unacceptable. And that is the crux of the problem with the impacts report. And we have to fight crime, fight it without any quarter, but at the same time we have to fight it with the means that have been made available to us by existing law. That is the bottom line. In other words, the laws that are in place, we have to fully utilize those laws. Yes, I am exceedingly concerned, and it's like a fresh wound each time that I'm told that a homicide has been committed, a murder has taken place. And like all citizens, I bleed. There are times, of course, that you're limited in what you can say at any specific point in time over these matters. I do have my own private views.
Prime Minister Anthony said the incidence of rape, meantime, in the country is worrying. In fact, he recently held talks, he said, with the acting police commissioner, suggesting the establishment of a special unit to deal with rape.
Not just in terms of providing counseling to the victims, because as you know, rape is such a traumatic experience, not just in terms of being able to handle a post-rape period, but critically and crucially to begin to develop appropriate intelligence, because they're serial rapists. That is to say, there are persons out there who rape time and time again. And we need far better intelligence on these individuals in our midst so that the police can begin to know when these individuals pounce or be able to identify them to deal with them.
But to effectively deal with the situation, the forensic lab is central to the efforts of the police. But with the forensic lab out of commission, law enforcement faces a major challenge. I posed the question to the Prime Minister.
And the government of St. Lucia had to review all the arrangements in the lab to properly understand what took place and why. Therefore, that process has gone through the first stage. We have had to invite a forensic scientist from Barbados to analyze all the procedures of the lab. And it was very clear that there was a breakdown in some procedures in the lab. It means that we have to clean it up because the lab is too essential for prosecution. If we operate a lab that is compromised, then it's going to compromise the prosecution of those persons who have exhibits that may tie them to particular crimes. So we have to deal with that. It may take a little time, but we have to get it right.
Meantime, the leader of the opposition, Dr. Gil Rigobert, has called for more to be done in dealing with the sexual assault on women in the country. While embracing the idea of a special police unit to deal with rape, Dr. Rigobert believes that there is an overemphasis on the penal aspect of the crime.
That much more needs to be done at the preventative end so as to ensure the social, psychological, and economic precursors to the perpetration of such crimes can be addressed. That, albeit necessary to invest resources in the punitive measures that become necessary when such horrible crimes have been committed, we need to address the root causes. What are the reasons that propel people to commit such heinous crimes such as rape? And therefore, we need to address the foundational causes. Can we address issues like empathy, setting and understanding of boundaries, whether we can sensitize young girls and women to understand better the conditions under which they engage with others, whether they can become more vigilant so as to ascertain when an engagement is becoming less and less kosher and perhaps that they are in harm's way. And I think we cannot neglect the fact that there are early behavioral patterns that sometimes suggest that people are prone to committing those crimes. And so it is important for us to have strategic, targeted educational programs so as to identify those persons early on and to engage in the necessary intervention.
Dr. Gail Regabert.